I'm Tammy Jones, and I am the 2014 U.S. Amateur Champion.
I'm Linda Wang, and I'm the 2017 U.S. Amateur Champion.
My name is Dana Aft, and I am the 2013 U.S. Amateur Champion.
My name is Kenneth Brisbane, and I am the 2014 U.S. Amateur Champion! Yes! Yeah, baby!
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back here at the 2021 U.S. Amateurs Open Division. I'm Jeremy Jones with the APA, and we're here at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. Now joined in the booth with Dale Sim, one of actually the players here in the event. Hey, Dale, how you doing?
Thanks very much for the invite in, Jeremy. Looking forward to seeing this next match.
Yeah, it's going to be another good one, I'm sure. And here's our opponents, Jason Schoof of LaPorte, Indiana, and Paul Adolini of Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. And I think you were telling me that you played, actually, Jason, in your first match. Is that right?
Apologies, it was Paul.
It was Paul. Paul, my bad. Okay. And so we'll get, there's Jason, a good look at him, and then Paul from Waynesboro.
Yeah, Paul actually owns a pool hall in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's...
Well, it said Waynesboro, Alabama on that graphic there, so I think it may have been... Anyways, here's our tournament format. Race to 7 is a combination of 8-ball and 9-ball. 5-game max of 8. 8 games max of 9. Double elimination, and the winner of the toss either chooses the break or the format. And we'll change that in the final. It'll be 1 race to 11, I believe it is, in the final. So
I'm looking forward to that. So they don't do double elimination, it's just an extended race.
That's right, which I like that format myself. So, and I don't even mind if it's not an extended race.
Yeah, I enjoy that too. I've noticed a lot. I've been looking around the room today. I'm not like a big proponent of this side break, but it's very widely used, Jeremy.
Yes, and you know there's a reason for that. I think a lot of the APA players, they play a lot on the 7-footers and a lot on the 8-footers, depending on what part of the country, and not all of them have access to the 9-footers for their leagues. So that's a break that you'll see a lot more often on the smaller tables.
Kind of noticed that. You see how close the 8-ball went to the side there? Just hit the point. I thought they're really attacking that 8-ball, right? Trying to get the game won early. Yeah,
and that's definitely one of the pluses on the second ball break is you get a lot more cue ball movement, so that could be a problem, but you also get a little movement on the 8s.
So have we
nice shot to start. Is he going to come away with anything at all? Maybe a 7 in the upper right?
Yeah. Have we had a golden break yet?
I haven't seen one on the stream table. We had one in the 9-ball for the ladies that I recall. I'm not so sure about the men's so far. The Open division,
right?
Which essentially is a men's division this year. We don't have any ladies in the Open.
Okay.
Which I think is going to change as the years go on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was watching the final, Jeannie and Julia, yesterday, and it was a great match.
Yeah, Jeannie really got going in that match yesterday. She just actually arrived, and congratulated her again on a fine win.
Wow.
Now, was that, I believe that was...
he did make a ball.
Yeah. That was Jason that broke, and Paul's now at the table, I believe.
Correct. So that's Paul in the salmon shirt.
Yeah. This is the one-loss side, so that tells you that Dale won his first match and then went on to win your second, correct?
Yeah, back at noon tomorrow. My first time here at the tournament, so it's nice to get a couple of wins under my belt early.
And you can tell that Dale's not from Florida originally, so I actually made the mistake of, I'm glad, he's not a small man either, that he didn't jump on me when I asked about, he brought up London, and I said, what part? Well, I'm actually from Scotland. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the instinctive side. Is I was actually born there and grew up in London, so you weren't far off.
Yeah.
That was a great shot in the side there. Did you see that nice cut shot?
Absolutely, and kind of like he was left with just that really only. So.
Yeah, he's got a good. He doesn't get all the way down on the cue, but you see him using that balance right. So he's got that little bit of extra cue in the middle of the joint there that you can see between the carbon and the Predator Black that he's using.
Yeah, and that was one of the most common extensions when extensions first came out, is the one in the middle. It was, I think, easier to manufacture that way, maybe. You don't have to change the cues or have a butt that allows the extension to screw in. You just use whatever thread they're using on the pin. So, but that one's gone away a little bit. Some people still use that one, but more of the butt end extension is used more these days as a whole.
Would you drift down for the 11 here off this one and
Well,
try and get out of the way?
I think he almost has to. I think he can't depend on trying to get on the 9 and then back on the 11. I mean, you can, but you just can't depend on it. I think that's the big deal there. I get into that a lot to where when you're worried about overhitting the ball, it's usually the underhit that happens. So
he could have overhit that, though. That's the thing. He could have overhit that and still been okay. He could have used the 6er shape, Could have.
Yeah, right. As long as he stayed off the rail, I guess, with the cue ball. So.
Correct.
Now he's faced with a decision, that's for sure, and he can get on the 11. So it's not like he has to shoot the 11. He could actually shoot the 9 and maybe even use the 14 to get on the 11.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's the shot.
Yeah, rather than digging on the cue ball right here, right? Come across the 14 maybe.
Yeah, just trust this one down the rail and leave yourself a nice wide angle to get up and down. He didn't really trust it. Try more punch that one than stroked it.
Yeah, he got a little bit of a short backswing, and talk about it all the time. When you go a little short, you try to make it up with speed going forward, and not even consciously. It's just something that happens unconsciously. So.
Yeah, that subconscious will get all of us. That's why I try and dig into the subconscious mind a lot more.
Yeah, and understand what it does. That's the main thing.
When you're in that gear, when you're feeling it, oh man, subconscious is the best thing ever.
Yeah, and it saves a lot of shots, but also it responds to things you do, and that's just how it is. So
100%. That was unfortunate.
And it's actually may work out to where he didn't give up much of a shot in return. I'm not so sure what Jason might do here. Anything you see that you like, Dale?
Sorry, this is Paul.
Oh, this is Paul. Excuse me.
Yes, I'm not actually liking anything from here, Jeremy.
Yeah,
I mean, I might just tie up a ball. I might just try and cut the 11 onto the 1 ball and come back up table.
Right.
I mean,
look at this. This isn't bad though. If he happens to get there somehow.
Yeah, I wanted to cover the 8, I think, more.
Yeah. He was just in a bad spot there.
But you see, this one, this just leaves it open. Just needs a nice stop shot or just drift on and off the rail for the 4. I hate to say it or give it a commentator's curse, but people have followed these in before trying to stop it dead.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's why the stroke is so important from distance, Yeah. That's where the stroke is really important. When you're close to your work, you can actually get away with a lot of flaws in the stroke, and you actually have more of a choice on how you want to shoot the ball when you're close. Like if you like stunning the ball when you're close, you can do that. When you like drawing the ball. But once you get a little distance, there's some standard ways to do things that you really need in your repertoire, right? So.
No, 100%. I mean, he was very fortunate there to get this side of that. I think he should come up and try and bump the 7.
Yeah, it's a perfect shot there.
Very nice.
Now he's pretty clear. Just a stop on the 6 gives a perfect angle on the 4 to drift up or play the 7 in the side. It's just kind of up to him.
I believe he only lost his match hill in the previous round.
There's been a lot of hills.
A lot of hills so far.
2 on the stream that I've been here for, and another close one. Now Raymond won one that was a little one-sided in the last round, but he deserved it. And in Robert's defense, he just didn't really have much go his way.
Yeah.
So
2 of the favorites drawing each other in the first round, I saw.
Yeah.
Ernesto and Blake.
Yeah. Yeah, and they both showed why they were 2 of the favorites and 2 former champions. One of them the reigning champion.
Yeah, that's tough action to come there and have Ernesto first round. Oh.
Yeah, I've known Ernesto. We've been good friends for, I would have to say, 20-plus years. So
yeah, great shooter.
Yeah, and super talented individual. You ought to, just does everything well.
Mm-hmm.
You ought to see him bowl, and he bowls like once every 10 years now, he says. And I saw it once, and he put a little 240, 260, 270, and he wasn't too happy about it. So that's pretty impressive. But all right.
Jason getting it done.
Yeah, Jason.
Nice job.
Yeah, and I know this is your first time here, and only my second time to be here on hand. I've kept up with the U.S. amateurs a bit.
Only the second time?
Second time to do the commentary, yeah. 2019 was my first, and I really enjoyed it a lot and had a lot of fun and met a lot of great people. But what I was getting at is, and I've had a few others say that to me today, that maybe the toughest open field they've ever had.
It might actually be, you know. I mean, I know Brian Parks is missing.
Yeah, we're
this
missing a
time,
few guys, but
it's still a very, very strong field. I think there's, you know, a few new players, and I always think Brett Ray, Jason Shearman this year. He's really improved this past year or two. Since winning the Ginkey, actually. He won the Ginkey up in New York.
yeah, and that's another thing. It's not just names you know of. I've been watching, and you know, you sit up in the booth in between games, you look around, and I see just a lot of talent. So
I'm always worried about lefties. Why is it lefties have so much more natural talent? I honestly don't know what it is.
Well, I don't know what it is either, to be honest with you.
I tried to read up on it. I actually looked into it, and I think it's because they have so lefties use the right side of their brain, which is more creative.
Okay.
So drawing from that, the same as like a right-hander draws from the kind of more, I guess, I can't even think of the word at the minute, but they're a bit more pragmatic.
Structure?
You know? Yeah,
more,
structure, more
yeah.
pragmatic, and that's why you see them going through the routine.
Right.
But lefties just seem to let it go.
Well, I played many sports before pool. I didn't start pool till 17, which some consider a little late for, you know, a professional status kind of player. Great shot there, man, center pocket. But
Just fired it in.
you know, we've said that about lefties in every sport for a long time. Tennis, I played a lot of tennis.
Yeah.
Baseball was my real go-to sport, but we talked about it there.
I feel like they just see it better. They
Yeah,
just see the ball.
You know, at one time in America, you know, you almost weren't allowed to be left-handed. I don't know if my grandmother was lefty, and she had to change in school. They didn't.
That's right.
They did not allow her to write left-handed. She ended up being ambidextrous because of it. But
I believe there was a book about it. It said how to change.
And it was kind of a big deal. I mean, it's almost like you were an odd person if you were left-handed. So.
Yeah.
All right, he's taking on the 1. Not necessary. Could shoot the 7 and just bump the 1 down.
That must show how he's feeling, you know. He's that shows a lot of confidence to me that he's played.
Well, the first shot. Look at the first shot he took on in the corner, right? So
he's got a
but I mean, you know, you're almost preached to, or you hear about it with information. Don't bump balls. Don't bump balls. But if it makes sense, that's where you have to learn to make a decision and understand that sometimes you bump them to help you. Sometimes that you bump them because you know, you get to shoot the shot a little more comfortable way. And
it's you and only you at the table. I mean, there you go. I mean, he made the more difficult 1 ball, and that was an easier shot. So it really is, like you say, decision making. You know, what are you comfortable with?
Absolutely. Okay.
This isn't easy for Stripes, though. I mean, look at that little cluster there. That's
absolutely.
And
especially he's got 2 solids kind of covering up those pockets a little bit. So,
I mean, how do you like this as your first shot, Jeremy? Lining up, you know, a tough. I think he can cut this in the side, perhaps. I don't know.
That's thin, I think, but he's okay. Maybe worry about that soft speed. Now he just decided to play a safety.
Yeah, containing safety. I think he's left the 5 though. That's the 5 down there.
He's left the 4 and the 5 actually. Maybe the 9's in the way of the 5, but
2 in
he'll try to make the 4. Does he have the 2 in the side?
2 in the side, perhaps. Yeah, I think he might have the English Channel there.
Yeah, that would be great, right?
Oh, he's just going to float the 4 down. He knows he's got time. This is one of the benefits of having a little cluster like that. See, he knows he's got time, so he just floats that one down into an.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see the knowledge on the 8 ball. And 8 ball's a different game. I mean, there's always pressure on you in 8 ball. It seems like you know, your opponent has so many balls to choose from usually. So, like you were saying, that the first starter a second ago, which he played safe on, but still, that's a tough shot because you know probably the game's over if you miss it. So.
Yeah, what a nice poke that was.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just, I feel like you have to be aggressive from here.
Absolutely.
Because this little cluster, I mean, it's not impossible. He can get on this.
Yeah, but I'll tell you. So you want to try and set up to create easy cue ball movement that goes into those balls one way or another. You don't want to have to force it.
Correct.
Not sure what he's looking at as far as that. I don't really see a great way.
I don't really see a way. I quite like maybe using the 11 to bump into the 10. Yeah, I don't like queuing up over this ball. I think I'd have preferred just to stun into the 10. Because this way you're kind of losing the cue ball a bit, and he has done. Now, it does go in the side pocket. And apologies for the flicker on the camera there. I know it is using autofocus there. It's because the room is dark behind it. But maybe just going to try and float up on the 11 here. Wow.
Not too bad, actually. I mean, not great, of course. I mean, I know he wanted to leave a little tougher shot on the 2, but at least his opponent has to come with a shot. And I'll tell you what else he's done if he gets back to the table. He's put another stripe down here by this cluster. So that should help trying to deal with that.
Yeah, I think he wanted to be tighter to the side rail there, didn't he?
Yeah.
If he'd got tight to that side rail, I think this one would have been a little bit more rudimentary, but...
Now, he wants to come all the way to the end rail. That's the safe play here, all the way to the end rail, just in case he missed, and he has shape.
What a great shot. That was a real nice smooth stroke. It's nice to see when players just allow their stroke to go. And like you say, he's a left-hander. Sorry, he's a right-hander, so shouldn't be any danger leaving this one just tight to the rail and draw it back.
And just catch a little fat hit with a... Now he's going to be
Right,
stretched there
stretched.
now.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of players, they don't use as much side spin sometimes. Like right there, you need to just load up with the left. That way he could come across throwing that ball.
Agreed.
Now he's got to use the bridge, and he's got to dig on this ball one way or another. Don't let up on it now. This ball could easily get behind the 13 if you let up on your stroke.
Yeah, has to make sure he still continues with the follow-through, right?
Right. Little acceleration. Well, a little cinch mode maybe, but he's got the shot on the 8.
Very cagey, but you take this 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, if they started you here, you would say that's fine. That's fine by me.
Because the cue ball is naturally running down to the end rail anyway.
Yeah, I think you have to put a little English to have any worries with the cue ball as far as a scratch. I mean, so.
Very nice. And he goes up. Is that 2-0?
I believe so.
So 8 ball proven to be a good starter. Have you seen many people start with the 9 ball? I know this is like a big strategy question, but
2 matches ago we had a hill match between David. What's his last name? They both of them played really well. David and Steve. Steve was Langiano, I believe was his last name.
Langiano.
Yeah, Langiano.
Okay.
Both of them played really well, though. Really an unfortunate loss the way it happened. It was a pretty easy 8 ball missed hill, but they started with 9 ball, and I didn't know either one of the guys, and man, I was thoroughly impressed with them.
Wow.
Yeah. Steve, who won the match, was a little bit definitely older than his opponent David, but
Singleton.
It was coming to me.
Singleton.
Yeah, it was coming to me. It just takes a while sometimes. So.
Thank you, Mark, in the chat there.
Yeah. Come with a lot of names the last few days. So.
Yeah, that was a better break. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah. And the key to the second ball break is not only to not lose the cue ball, is, of course, straight low English. First off, you don't use any side spin. You can use a touch of outside, but then you're dealing with deflection. If you catch that head ball here, you're in trouble. But the other one is it's not as, you can't go blast speed.
That's correct.
It's almost like the connection you get with the templates these days. There's a point on the template you can overhit it, and you just don't get that connection like
it jumps up off of it.
Yeah. And it kind of works against you, really, but.
Well, he's made one of each here, Jeremy. Well, which one? I think solid for me, really. I don't like clusters there, but I think equally the easier starter for me is this 5 ball.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime you have a doable out both ways, and you have a choice, of course, unless it tells you have to do it, you don't want to start with a missable ball. That's just
correct.
Pretty simple stuff, but he's overran a little bit here, so he's going to have to cut the 4, and I'm wondering where the cue ball is going to go. Is he going to try and get into the 3 here? All right, nice speed. And the camera fooled me a little there, but I thought he was going to have more speed on it. But now he's starting to get in a position Watch out for that 11. 11's a big ball if he just kind of rolls the ball here.
He didn't roll it, played it well. Came back for the 7, which is he's actually perfect.
Yeah, great.
Just try and stop this. I mean, I think he can play on and off the rail, right?
Yeah, there's a little angle. You know, here's where you decide. Of course, you can get in between where they're neither are any good. But, you know, you would like to shoot the 6 and just draw back for the 3 next. That's what you would like to do, but it may end up being the other way around.
Yeah, he tried to just hold it too much there. He could have gone onto the rail, and he could have even bumped into those 2 balls. They both went anyway, so he wouldn't have been disturbing them.
Yeah, and I think he was trying to hold it because he really wanted to shoot that 6 next. And that's why I'm saying, as far as, don't be afraid to, you know, if they're doable the other way, that way it doesn't risk a miss, you know, so much.
I've often said that. It's okay to change your plan, you know, midway through, as long as you just settle and focus on that one change. But now I like Paul from here.
Yeah, he's going to have a little freedom, too, with
Doesn't
3-7 the way it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's gotten himself in a tough spot.
He's muddied the water a bit with the... I don't think that's a dead combo. So he's got some time on his hands here. He can just play a safety here.
I think he'll shoot. I think he'll try to roll this ball in. Okay.
Yeah, because that's not dead.
No.
Is it dead
but
the
I'll
other
tell
way?
you, though, I mean, can he bump the 7 and just kind of leave the cue ball right there to the right and only leave the 15 ball cut? I mean...
He absolutely can. That's a great shot. Just bump the 7 and just push the cue ball on and off the rail.
Yeah, and you may even come back onto the 7 maybe. You know, it's the thing. You get in this position where you're a big underdog in the 8-ball game. The best you can do is at least make your opponent earn it.
100%. I mean, that's a great call, Jerry. I don't think I would have even played that. I might have actually played it, but it would have taken me about 10 minutes to see it.
Yeah, well, not having much on the 6 may help you in that sense. Now, he may go for this kick because it is makeable. I mean, you can throw it towards the hole. It doesn't need much. So.
Do you think it's makeable going back the way if he comes off the back rail and tries to kick at it?
Well, that's what I think he was looking at initially.
Oh,
He's looking at our shot now, though. Just roll up on the 7.
Just play it soft.
Just play it soft. You might lean up on it. You might get back on the 7.
Perfect.
Yeah. So now he's cut off on the 12, cut off on the 11. The 14 doesn't go. So he's kind of forced to either challenge his opponent or go for the 15, one of the two.
Yeah, I think, like you say, make him earn it. That's definitely one of the things. I mean, he's probably just going to come on off the rail here.
Yeah, make sure he gets a rail here. You could come underneath this like that.
Oh, and it's not hit a rail, is it?
No,
that's
he
a
hasn't.
foul.
That's a foul.
Ball in hand.
Yeah, I don't know if they're on top of it or not, but it doesn't appear so. Maybe the 9's froze to the rail. I did pump the 9, but I didn't see the 9 really move much. So
no, I don't think the 9 was dead there.
Yeah.
And he's given himself a problem.
Yeah, sure has. The big problem might be, Dale, he may not get back to the table, right? So.
Well, I mean, I'd like to have this opportunity from here, to be honest.
For sure.
It's just all about controlling this first ball. I don't think he controlled that too well.
No, maybe a little amped up a little bit, but
here's the thing with this 12-9 the way it is, I'd have a little go at the crossbank here and use a bit of low right, come around the back of the 6, play this as like a crossbank like this, and try and come one rail back into the 6.
Yeah, I think if you're at the table, though, I think you cut the 7 in with a little inside and drag it across the center, I think anyways. This isn't horrible either, considering he's got kind of a free shot to come around the table like this.
Yeah, he got a nice favorable bump there as well.
Mm-hmm. So I'll tell you what, he's had a little bit of a loose cue ball at times, little bit, but he's been sitting there making some tough shots. So,
yeah, I mean, I like his talent. He trusts himself. Mm-hmm. It's brutal because they played at 10:30 this morning and they've only just got back on the table.
Yeah,
so
I wouldn't doubt they've been somewhere else.
Yeah, I certainly would. 6-7 hours off the table. That's tough with 128 field bracket.
Yeah, somebody just asked me yesterday, one of the biggest problems they have with 2-day tournaments or weekend tournaments, you know, you play that first one, you sit 4 or 5 hours, and my advice is find a pool table. You know, a occasionally you're in a venue that has extra tables because they're playing on 7-footers and there's a few 9-footers or whatever, but just keep staying on the table as much as you can.
Keep your arm going, right?
Right.
And Jason way into the ascendancy here. 3-0 is a big lead in 8-ball.
Oh, yeah.
If you're picking the 8 first, because
well,
not easy.
If you win both sessions, you win the match. And right now, he's gonna take the 8-ball side of this match because we only play 5 games of 8-ball.
Yeah, it's one of my favored games, and I think it was one of the reasons I qualified was because my 8-ball was very strong, and I ended up I was 4-1 up and 5-0 up sometimes going into the 9-ball, and there's so much pressure off of you by that point.
Yeah, and 9-ball is the type of game. If you are a little bit of a favorite, let's say somebody was a hair of a favorite on you, it really is a long-term kind of favorite thing.
Makes a difference.
Yeah, you're going to split a lot of sessions, even though you're a little underdog. You play long enough now, it'll show up. But
100%.
Okay, that's the speed I was talking about. Now he caught it a little thin, but
7.
Nice
7.
speed right there. He's getting nice spreads too.
I've been impressed with the tables, Jeremy. I know that there's 2 or 3 different table types, but generally the consistency has been good throughout.
No, I played a lot last time I was here because I showed up a little early and just played with a few people. And I played on the diamonds, I played on the gold crowns, and I'm not sure what kind the other ones are. Are they Robertsons maybe? Or
I think they're Olhazens.
Olhausen, okay.
I don't know how you say it in America. Olhazens. There you go.
Olhausen.
Olhausen.
Olhausen, yeah.
There you go.
That's how we say it in Texas. I don't know about the rest of America. So.
Would you take the bank here to be aggressive, or do you think that goes by the 5?
I think it goes by the 5. It definitely goes up in the corner. So
no point risking it.
Yeah, I think the position. Now I wouldn't wait on it too long, Dale.
He's trying now, yeah. Trying to get
shot.
over there. Good shot. Wow, found the gap nicely.
Yeah, now he can just roll forward a little bit for the 12. I think that's, don't overthink it. That's kind of where it wants to go.
Yeah, it goes in the side too if you overroll it.
Yeah, and I think the 14 may even pass the 9 just in case he got the bad angle here. It's real close, but now he's a little funny if he's rolling on top of the 8. Now he's got to have good speed. If he ends up short, things could have a problem. Okay, he could get by the 8. That's nice.
Needs to roll a hair.
Does the 9 not play? Maybe it's a little thinner than I thought.
I think the 10 is the one that you wanted, and I think he's got it.
Ooh, I don't know.
But
so now he's got to have a good, nice little soft touch if he doesn't have the 10, that's for sure.
I think he has the 10. He can bump onto the 9. I would just try and rest onto the 9 so that I have the, is that the 14 that's left?
Yeah, I don't think he has the 10. He would certainly be shooting it, that's for sure.
Wow.
So he's got to hit this. Oh, he went twice back and forth. So now he's going to be, I don't think he'll get to the 10. So now he's elevated over a 14. And he's got traffic coming back. He's got to go maybe back and forth, something like that.
Yeah, his cue ball was just a little bit rusty. I mean, that was a bad error, like you said. He actually had a lot of area to play in there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big shot here.
No, chop.
Yeah.
Just hit it thick. Oh, not a bad leave. Might get back to the table here.
Yeah. Doesn't, like, he's got a lot of room though. I mean, he only has to play the breakout really if he wants, right? So the one thing is if you go for the run out, I think he needs to go ahead and shoot the 5.
I would maybe put the 1 over towards that left pocket. I mean, here's the thing. I would get rid of these balls first. I think I'd play the 7 and try and drift down for the 2-4, just to deal with that early, and then maybe try and put a ball over by the 3, make the breakout just a touch easier.
He's going to try and get on the 2 for sure.
Yeah.
And I think what he was thinking is the 1 sitting all right to break out with the 7 hanging. If you get decent on the 2, if you get better on the 2 or the 4, getting up in that center of the table is not too hard.
Just play it safe.
Yeah, nice shot. So now if he doesn't hit this, which you expect him to hit it, that's what you always expect when you play safe. You're just trying to improve your situation. But
yeah, coming 1 rail at this, though, this is tough. I'd probably grab a second rail on this one.
I agree.
To be honest. Yeah, see that slide away from it makes it a bigger ball coming into it 2 rails.
Now, I still like drawing off the one. You create a little more speed with the cue ball to make sure the 3 and 4 separate, 3 and 14 separate. A lot of people will set up full and follow into that. Not saying you can't do that, but you'd be amazed when you follow through a full shot. Well, the cue ball doesn't have as much energy on it, so it doesn't want to keep going as easily. You could actually stick on the ball very easily. I like a hair more angle actually than this on the one. This will work though.
You think come underneath? Try and come underneath.
Yeah,
the 3?
you don't have to hit it hard. You're going to gain plenty of speed.
Yeah.
That's why I wouldn't have maybe hit it so hard, so I don't move the 14 as well. You know.
It's still difficult again. I mean, if this 10 ball doesn't go by the 2, I'd toy with maybe trying to make this 14.
I think that's 100% the shot.
Because it doesn't go right.
Yeah, it doesn't go. It doesn't go by the 4. I think he'll try and get ahead of himself maybe. Got to ignore that 3-0 lead here. This is like almost hill what you do. So.
Yeah, I mean, top it through. There's no danger in just potting his ball and clearing that bag out. I mean, he could bank it, I guess, but.
Well, if he's going to try and run out, he's got to clear the 2 away. That's for sure. I mean, if you're using the 7 to get to the backside of the 3, you need an open pocket, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I think he's gotten to where he needs to play probably a safety maybe. I don't know. Is he going to move the 6 down table off the 7?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So I still don't know exactly the out yet.
I still don't like it. I mean, he has the angle to force follow this and use a high left, but you make the pot maybe 6-7 times harder.
Right.
If you're trying to jack up on that ball. I don't like it yet. I don't like it yet.
No, and the first shot he played the 4, I would have tried to, if I was going to run out, I would have tried to remove the 2 then. So he's still got the option of pocketing the 3-14, you know, but now you don't have as much. So I maybe make the 6 and draw over and pocket the 3-14 and put him on the end rail, right?
That might be the shot. I mean, if he's thinking about just drawing this over.
Yeah, just draw it over, play the 3-14, put him on the middle of the end rail. You've got plenty of options as far as like you have a ball, you know.
How about the carom, Jeremy, off the 3?
That's fine too, either one.
I think the carom offers a little bit more security too.
Yeah, from there I thought he would be a little more aggressive on the 6 though and get more straight on the combo, you know, like shoot the 6 a little more aggressively to slide over. He's going 3 rails.
He wants to run.
I'll tell you what.
Jeremy, wild horses from Texas, right?
Yeah.
Roam free.
Oh.
Lost a bunch of speed.
Yeah, and it was just a long way to go. So now he's going to have to try and create one thing or another.
In poker, he just went 10%, 90% against, right?
Yeah, and the funny thing is he played a pretty quick safety knowing he had an advantage and kind of went away from it on his next opportunity. So
I don't think he has any safety. I mean, if I'm doing anything here, I'm just going to be aggressive. I might even just try and play off the rail and try and kick it towards that side, that corner pocket.
Yeah.
I don't see what he has.
Yeah, there's a 2-railer there that's an outside chance, right? But
yeah, you're so close to it though.
Yeah, you could easily foul. You do have to cut it a lot actually too. He's going long rail.
Yeah, wherever he leaves this, I always thought he was in trouble here. Yeah. I think you'll watch that one back and realise where the errors were made.
And it's early in the match, so we'll see how this goes. But if he goes on to lose this match somehow, you could really reflect on this game here.
Paul really needs to get on the board. At 4-0, that's 3-1, 4-0. It's a big difference.
Huge.
What do you like doing here? Just drift it out center table and?
I probably like coming 2 rails, probably like that. A little smoother, so he's going to overrun just a little bit, but not too bad.
Not too bad, right?
Yeah. Long bridge, though. Nice shot.
No, nicely done. Confident stroke there, and he's on the board 3-1.
Yeah, and we're going to have our last game of the 8-ball part of the session.
If he can get out of this 3-2, he's going to be very happy.
Absolutely.
There's a big caution there. He very easily could have been down 4-0.
So I think these are all one-loss side matches right now.
Yeah, the winners bracket's back tomorrow at noon, I believe.
Competitions are weird, you know. It's just, you know, I remember some of the players from 2 years ago and a few of them that made some pretty deep runs, you know, like third, fourth, well, fifth, sixth, fourth, and they're already on the one-loss side, you know, so
100%.
no guarantees.
What was the original kind of reasoning, and this question might have been asked, but behind having both 8-ball and 9-ball in the same set? Is it just so that you're kind of master of both, or?
Well, they play that in their league sessions, right?
Right.
So that's something the APA does. So like most leagues, they play two disciplines. So I think they just wanted to involve both because, you know, they just feel like they have some players that excel at one or the other, and you know, you're just going to involve more people, I think. So
Okay.
I don't mind it. I actually I sub for a couple of friends of mine's teams, you know, like once a year or something, not very often, and said it before, the people in Dallas are great. They never complain about me coming in to sub or anything, and the way I play, I can see why, but that's another story. But I actually enjoyed the format of switching it up a little bit. So
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Let's see what he's got from this side. I'm looking at the 4. The 4 doesn't go, so I think I prefer stripes, but the first shot is really going to be the tester. If you're going to go stripes, I believe I would take the 12 first. The other side of this is solids are slightly more favourable, but it would just be for me a question if that 4 does go by, which I don't think it does. So he's choosing solids. Not the best opening shot, but does have a good angle here to swing around the table. I may be able to hold for the 2, but if not, the 1 ball is open as well. Can go 2 rails and back round for the 1 into that channel. I don't think the 7 goes by. This might be his opportunity to use the 2 ball and try and open up the 12. Personally, I'd like to come off the rail and bump the 12 from behind. It looks like he's just going to draw into it. Yeah, he went into it full, which a little bit more dangerous. Is on the 7 though. This could be his opportunity to take the 7 and just come underneath the 15. You can see there he is staying aggressive. I don't think there's been a thought of any type of safety in his play today. Now decision time. Do you trust yourself? Go for the slightly more difficult 5. Try and bump into the 8. Just make sure you don't slide by the 8. Yeah, that was perfect. Round of applause for a table that just finished close to the booth. I don't think he's got anything to worry about here. I mean, he's just taking his time, which is totally fine. Can walk around again. Maybe just draw this one back. He doesn't even have to draw it back. Obviously, you'd ideally like to be in line with the 8 ball, but try not to overplay it. He had a bit more angle, so he played it on and off the rail. It wasn't as straight as it looked. And here, there's no danger from here. The only thing he doesn't want to do is overrun the cue ball. You can be short on this one. If you're short, you've got it to the corner. But if you're long, that 10 ball comes into play. I believe he's using a tsunami shaft, a man after my own heart. I think that might be a tsunami. I'm going to ask him afterwards. Made by Richard Sue down in Brooklyn. You see, didn't really matter. Just as long as he didn't overhit that, he's actually inch perfect. And that's going to bring him out 4-1 lead in the 8 ball, which is it's a great lead to have. Now Paul has everything to do. Staring down the barrel. Now might be a good time for me just to take a break, reset, refocus, and say, right, I know the job I've got to do. Go and grab a drink, splash of water, anything like that. So I do have the chat room open, guys. Who's your fan? Who are you backing today? You enjoyed it so far? Jeremy just stepping back into the booth now.
4-1.
See there, so this is our first rack of 9 ball. They are allowed to check the rack, Jeremy, correct?
Yes.
They can have a look and they can ask for what, 1 re-rack?
Yeah, I mean, I think if, as long as it's a decent rack, right? I mean, what I've seen, though, is there hasn't been any complications at all. No drama.
No drama, correct. I just like to have a look. I'm kind of one of those, if there is a gap. Sometimes you might switch which side you break from.
Sure. So
You might necessarily just
I think it's fair.
Yeah, it is fair, yeah, I think so.
I think this 1-6 might have lined up, I'll tell you. Of course, we can't see. We're right down the booth, but I mean, we're in the booth. We're not right down the line, but I think it's close.
It's not an easy safety either.
No.
Here's the thing from there.
Yeah, you might float them, up table somewhere and leave them a long shot on the 1. Try and get them to the end rail, and if you happen to sneak behind the 4 maybe, or the 2 somehow. Not sure it's really even possible, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't think there's anywhere else I could push to either. So I think you might be right, it might be wired.
Yeah, I think it's close.
Oh, just off. Oh look, cut
Look
the
at
2 in.
this.
There it is.
Hey.
Good old 9 ball.
Trying to think what he had in mind there, maybe he was trying to draw behind the 3, maybe? I don't know.
There was certainly some safety in mind. But now you've broken that out. Now's the time to attack. I don't think there's a good safety anywhere.
No, maybe bank the 1 back down or something like that. I'm not sure.
Middle.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's a shot you learn, but you don't use it as much as. It's a
tough one, right? Sometimes you can overplay it.
Well, and to be honest with you, the players have evolved. Especially on the higher levels.
Yeah.
You let them see a little piece, they're going to use the 3 or 9 in the situation to separate the balls and snooker you back. It's kind of like a shot I was talking to with another player. You know how you learn at some point in your career, you learn to, have a ball in the middle of the table and you need to get back down table, and you learn to draw it to the side rail and spin it with inside 3 rails back down, right? It's like the coolest shot ever when you first learn it. But then in time, you realize you just don't use it that often. You kind of stay away from that shot if you can. So
it becomes more of a recovery or a kind of a guaranteed positional shot if you really need to get that angle or that channel.
Yeah, it's something that people leave you, or when you get out of line or whatever, right?
I avoid it at all costs when I can.
Yeah, but it's like you almost practice it and you want to use it at first. It's like a really awesome shot. And I'm like, man, I didn't know I could do all this. And then in time you realize it's just not something you're really trying to play very often. Nice shot. Watch out, rock.
Slow.
It's going to hang, I think.
Slow.
Oh, my.
Sucked it in.
Well, nothing going well for this man. Made a great shot in the side there. And to be honest with you, I didn't really see it as a scratch angle. I thought he would go more towards the 4.
Personally, with the angle that he did have, I would have liked to have taken that long. It was a more difficult shot.
In the corner?
But take it in the corner because it just afforded better shape.
Yeah.
There was that sellout possibility from here.
And to be honest with you, it ain't a whole lot tougher. I mean, you still have to hit the middle pretty good at that shot. You know, that was a tough shot off the rail. So
Yeah,
could have used a little more cue ball off the rail here. Still okay. He'll spin it with inside to the center is all he needs. He overcut it.
Yeah, might be taking his foot off the gas a little, which is easy to do when you 4-1 up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he's going to be straight, so this isn't going to be easy.
Doesn't want to be straight, right?
He's got it straight, pretty straight.
Oh,
and the sevens froze, so it's not like you can just accept the shot so easily. If it's a hair off, you know, it's no hanger by any means. He squeezed the cue ball out pretty nice right there, huh?
Wow, what a good shot that was. I mean, from where he was to get that far off the rail is just that's a great shot.
Yeah. Now this one here, if you apply a little inside, it may help you a hair, but it's more about the follow through that keeps the ball on the rail. Of course, good contact, but
Great shot.
good shot. I don't know if he's going to get anything friendly.
Never rains, but it pours, Jeremy.
Yeah.
What an out that would have been as well.
Still,
Wow.
I think he's going to go here. I don't think you're going to see a safety. That 4-1 mentality makes you want to go a little bit more, right? And I can't blame him at all.
Twisty. Try to twist
The one thing he did there, though, is he tried to kill the cue ball in the end rail. And that's just the type of shot you'll miss it way more often. And I understand the mentality there of wanting to leave the rock on the end rail. And it may prove to be a smart thing here. But I think once I decide to go there, I think I'm more focused on the 9 than anything else. So
I hear you.
as long as he smooths this, like you said, the pockets are playing kind of hit it kind of hard.
Yeah, he didn't need to hit it that hard, did he?
And the 9's going to get conceded here now 4-2.
All right, well, he hung in there, really. If I recall, when I did play Paul, he was he had a never say die attitude. He really came back at it. I think I was 5-3 up, and he still managed to get another 2 on me. Beautiful gold crown 5, one of my favorite tables.
Yeah, they're a nice table.
Beautiful, right?
Yeah.
As long as they're well maintained, if they're kept in good condition. Yeah, the pockets are a bit big, but what is it, 475?
Standard is, but I think these are maybe 4.5. I don't know, but you played on it. But the shelves, that's the main thing on the Brunswick is the shelves have gotten a little shorter as the decades have gone on. The Gold Crown 1, believe it or not, that's one of my favorite tables, and it's much like the Diamond with the deep shelves. So.
Yeah, these ones just seem to accept a little bit more, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That might be why they look big on the TV, guys. They are standard size, I believe.
Yeah, and the conditions are real nice. You know, Jose, he keeps everything real premium here at Strokers, and you know, we're normally have some humidity outside, but really hardly any today, and it's really been great weather. So everything's going to slide a little easier. I can see a little piece here, or is he rolling out? Okay, he's rolling out.
Yeah, just come down to the end rail. Don't leave anything easy.
Yeah, he might get that one back there, Dale.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Nothing easy here, and it didn't take long to get it passed back.
Yeah, because he's going to flirt with the side pocket if he goes for the up and down. If he just tries to play it center diamond and back down.
I think he might be attacking.
He's going to attack this?
He might be.
This is a brutal cut.
Yeah. And he could scratch cross corner in the same pocket, actually.
He overcut it, Jeremy. How well did he hit it to overcut it?
Well, he stays aggressive. You could see that. That's how you become a better player. I mean, don't get me wrong. You have to be able to pull on the reins and make sound decisions. But people ask me about juniors. What do I do to get them better? What's a good way to get them started? And I always say, let them run. You know, get the backhand and form a bridge. Make sure the backhand isn't getting clenched to death, and then let them run a little bit. Let them figure a few things out on their own. It's not the worst thing in the world. So
to develop their own style or their own kind of feel.
Yeah, well, what you do is the kids, they want to make balls too. So they'll pay attention that, and maybe not at first, but they'll start to pay attention. Oh, this is where you hit it to make the ball, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids are smaller, so as long as you get them used to holding the cue in the back kind of loose, where they're not gripping it too much, and let them form a good bridge, make a couple good bridges, because a loose grip keeps the stroke as straight as anything. When you start clinching, that's when it really wants to go left and right on you.
I think that was an example on that first one ball. You saw him, he over-gripped it. Mm-hmm. It's tough to sometimes to allow the cue ball to allow the whole cue to do its job.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's just to deliver it. You're just delivering the cue.
Well, and it's until you know better, we all kind of want to hit at it. I mean, that's just kind of like instinctively, that's what you want to do. And that's actually kind of how you develop starting to play, and you get a little feel is for a little hit at first, but then after a while, we want to calm that hit down,
Yeah, you want to develop that stroke more.
Yeah.
Is that the 4 in the middle of the table there, Jeremy?
The 4's down by the 9 here, so he's got to hit a nice little draw stroke here. Not much, just a little bit.
It's this one down, yeah.
I just overthrew it a little bit.
That caused him to throw it, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I ain't going to go into the teaching mode that I can get into, but more people aim better than they think they do. It's a lot how they deliver the cue to the cue ball, so.
Correct.
Yeah,
it's a big part of it.
Yeah, it's a kind of an illusion. People come into the lesson a lot of times, oh, I need you to fix my aim, and I just slowly kind of prove to them the aim isn't that bad, really. Oh, he went, okay.
Oh, okay.
He was trying to go 2 rails. Did he maybe just mishit the cue ball a little bit?
Yeah.
He's cutting at it, though.
I agree with you on the coaching. I didn't receive coaching until I'd been playing for maybe 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it was just minor tweaks.
Right.
Because you'd already developed a stroke.
Yeah.
So it's like you say, getting people in the right shape, right frame of mind.
Yeah, and most people have made good strokes. That's almost what keeps them with the game, and almost what makes them want to get back to maybe getting some instruction, because they want to keep doing that and do it more often. So it's just a matter of knowing how to get back to it and what a good stroke is doing. That's a huge part of it.
Yeah. You guys should take Jeremy up in Dallas and take advantage of when he's traveling and try and book him.
Yeah, I've been busy. But I pretty much never turn anybody down for some reason. Back home, it's a lot of people I deal with, which is great. I mean, keeps me sharp as well. And to be honest with you, I learn a lot. I mean, I've learned so much about teaching from when I started. It's incredible.
Any book on the horizon, Jeremy?
I don't know about that. Maybe one day with some one pocket stuff or fun stuff. I got some other stuff I'm working on though. So.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. The little thin.
That was a tough shot from there. The scratch was on, wasn't it? The scratch was huge.
Now he's left kind of a spinner. Now I think he can level out and maybe dodge the scratch and come straight back down the table. I'm not sure. Otherwise, he may have to pull this ball a little bit, huh?
Looking at it, I think he can cheat it just a touch and just use just a hair of high left. I like.
And just come straight back down.
Just straight back down. Yeah. I think he'll miss this if he cheats the pocket a touch.
Just slight English.
Yeah, just slight. I mean, he overplayed that, but big area to play into.
Yeah, actually, not the worst stroke in the world, to be honest with you. I mean, there was a lot of movement going on, but he got through the ball, so it was pretty good.
Same again here.
Yeah, he's got to ease it.
Slow speed with inside. Very nice.
Now, I like him going to look at this for a second, but that's just pretty standard thing I like, period. But it's feeling good.
Oh. He's missed a couple like that into the far knuckle, and they've just hung up, and that's a reprieve for Paul here, because Paul's 4-1. Was it 4-1 still?
Yeah, about to be 4-3, right?
4-3. Sorry. Yeah, 4-3. This is a huge swing in this match.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, human nature says Jason starts to think about it a little bit more now also.
Yeah, there's a little bit more pressure on it. Maybe that free stroking mentality will dwindle a little.
I hope not. I like watching it, I ain't going to lie.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the tactical and the guys. You know, Raymond, he put on a nice clinic of composing yourself and stuff. I like seeing that as well because usually you see some pretty fine pool behind it. But
correct.
Also, you know, the free stroking, you know, I would say, I said it in the ladies, that don't let these short races or your moment let you get out of your rhythm, you know. Oh, I don't want to make that mistake. I don't want to make that mistake. And I can see some of the ladies and actually some of the guys here maybe taking a hair more time than they normally would because of the situation and the environment we're in. So
it's easy to tighten up that back arm when you're normally used to being so fluid. Maintaining that composure along with the fluidity is huge, in my opinion.
Okay, go on after this one. Nice shot.
Slow speed, didn't get it.
Look like it. I mean, the tables have looked really true here, but I thought at first when that was heading towards the hole that it was good.
Oh, let's see.
So this is like an even money kick if he has to kick at it, or can he spin around the two? Oh, okay.
It's favourable. If you can spin around the two, that affords better shape, I believe. Oh, too much twist.
It's amazing what pool balls do. That hit one point, the other point came right back to the same position and didn't leave Paul a shot, really. So
good safety here, though. He's got a big wall downtown there. Look at this, come right the way down into that channel. That's a nice shot. Kind of like just one rail in this from the left side. Maybe he can hit it thin.
I think he can. The key to this is don't let up on it. It cuts much better when you put a little acceleration into the stroke. You know, it kind of chunks whenever you kind of ease the ball. Talked about Shane and Earl being the best, I think, ever at thinning the ball from some distance. And what I see is they make sure they, put a good stroke on the ball. Now, Shane's stroke is a little different. We talk about that sometimes, but just really, they don't let up on it, and when you put a good stroke, it's just like a regular shot. The ball cuts a little bit better, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people watch Shane and they're like, I can play like that, but they don't realize the amount of time that's gone into that
technique,
and that timing that he has. Because he definitely has a small boat into the rhythm, which you don't see a lot with the European players. But
no, and traditional cueing, kind of things. It's
much like yourself, actually, Jeremy. You've got a bit of a floaty one, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, exactly, and it's just traditionally, you try to go through the ball, and Shane is a player that doesn't do that very much. He creates power with actually just raw speed, rather than just using a little more timing. Now, timing's involved, right? But it's not the engine like a lot of players are. What a shot that was!
From that distance, off the rail.
Yeah, great shot.
Unfortunate to get where he did there. He's been good at the recovery stuff, and I think he's just going to take his time and come behind the 8 here. It doesn't matter if it hits the 9. That's good.
Yeah, it's real good.
Very nice shot. Now he's in the pole position. What do you think of your Jason now, Jeremy? Do you think you starting to feel the heat a bit? 4-3 down.
You definitely know he's there.
4-3 up. Sorry.
Yeah, you definitely know he's there. So I think as much as anything, it probably helps Paul a little more too. Like, oh yeah, I'm in this match. Let me play some safeties when it's called for. Let me make some good decisions.
He seems to be staying in the moment well. It would have been very easy to let your concentration go at 4-1.
Absolutely. Trying to get back here now. Watch out, 9 ball. Oof, almost. Real close to being able to make this billiard here, and the 6 ball billiard maybe also. I'm not sure if either are really playable, but it's close.
I like the 6 over the 9. I think the 6 might.
6 definitely plays, doesn't it?
But it would be at speed. I'd be turning the 2 loose.
Yeah, middle of the table's pretty open though. I mean, hard to get too buried, I think.
Yeah.
And the cue ball should come up off the 6 a little bit towards the middle, not all the way to the middle, but should come up a little bit at least.
Yeah, maybe he heard us. It looks like he's firing at it. Played it with soft speed, and that was my fear. That was my fear with that. It allowed the cue ball to go forward a bit too much.
Yeah, and I think you necessarily didn't need to draw off of the 2, but definitely at least kind of ricochet, kind of bounce off the 2 a little bit to contact the 6 where you wanted.
Yeah, there is that.
Now here, if you could, you'd rather kick up table. Now, he made a great hit, but the reason why is you always want to kick towards congestion. You can see the 3, 8, 6, and 9. You know, if you can kick 1 or 2 rails off that top rail coming at that 2, you know, a lot of good things can happen, right?
It very much can, and I think now he's in really good shape now. This is where you'd like to be ideally.
Is he a little thin? Does he have to run 2 rails here?
I prefer the 2 rails because I know I can get below the 3.
Just a hair, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't try and hold above the 3 on the left.
I got a little thick.
Thick. I think Blake's father, Brian, is asking what the score is
In his match?
for Blake. Can we see it from here? I don't think we can.
Let me see if I can find which table Blake is on. Big room here.
Yeah, 14 tables right now.
Yeah, let's see. Don't see what table he's on just yet. Do you see him on one of these over here? I don't see him on one of these. So maybe he's on one of the diamonds over there, maybe?
I think he might be on the diamond, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. We can't see that too closely.
Now, if I can find the table, I can usually make some kind of way to look at them beads above the table. Now, it might take me a second to decipher who's what and what's where, but
How brutal is that? What a great shot.
Yeah.
And then to finish, how many times do you finish dead straight on a ball?
it's amazing, really.
It's infuriating.
Infuriating. There you go.
You couldn't do it. If I said to you, I'll make that ball again and land in the same spot, guarantee I wouldn't.
Well, and it's amazing before you know about pool, straight seems like the premium. Like that's what you want, you know, but then you start to learn quickly that straight is good here and there, but not too often do you want straight. Watch out, Roxanne.
Ooh, man, Paul has had no roll.
Yeah.
You need luck.
There's no mercy in it, that's for sure.
None. And he's opened up the 6 as well.
Okay, so Jason needs to regroup here and get back on the board. He's up 4-1 and had a chance each of the last 2 games. Hung a 9 ball. And so
Yeah, from the mental side, that two game window is so big. I think if you can maintain that, you know, even if it reduces to 1 and you stretch it out again, it's a big mental advantage.
yeah, now he's going to draw, and you can always learn a little something here. You should definitely follow here instead of draw. When you have the chance, I always relate it to, are you going to be more accurate throwing a ball in front of you or throwing a ball behind you? You're probably going to be more accurate with the one in front of you, right?
I like that analogy.
So,
I've always been told never draw from ball in hand.
well, never's a hard word because sometimes it's just you have no choice. But, you know, don't squeeze the cue ball behind a ball that's,
But you don't
you know,
need, you don't need to.
Yeah, exactly. Now he fell perfect to come 1 rail across and catch the 2nd rail.
Yeah, you couldn't have put this ball better with his hand.
No, this is perfect. You can float right into position. And that's a little smoother stroke there, right?
I prefer that type of speed on this type of table. You know,
Oh, yeah.
you don't have to force it. You don't have to do anything with it. Just let the cue ball do the work. There you go. Much smoother.
And you just get more out of the cue ball when you do it like that. So,
Okay. All right, so stretches that out again, 5-3. Thanks very much for tuning in, everyone. We do have the chat room open, so feel free to ask a question.
yeah, they've had big numbers on there today.
Yeah,
Up and down a little bit, but definitely a lot of people watching.
maintaining around 500 at the moment, which is great for a B-side match.
And I still haven't located where Blake's at. So
I can't see him either. I mean,
I usually can find him pretty quick.
Did he change T-shirts? Maybe, I don't know.
I don't think so. I thought I saw him walk in earlier.
I was saying from the bracket they haven't begun yet, but
Okay, and that's quite possible. He may be waiting on a match that that is still lingering from
yeah, it was a
the
little
previous round. So
was a little delayed today.
overall, though, it's been real good. I mean,
Yeah, we've kept to the bracket timing quite well, which I always prefer for a 3-day tournament. Having those bracket times laid out means you can go and take a break, you can go for a drive, you can go back to the hotel.
sure. Prepare however you like, right?
Yeah, it makes a world of difference.
So this cue ball behind the 7 here, maybe.
Yeah, I like floating this in. There's a lot of traffic on that right-hand side to get behind. Very
Pretty
nicely.
good. Yeah,
Wow.
that's going to be a tough hit. 2 rails, possibly, probably 2 rails. Somewhere near where this chalk is on the bottom rail here.
From that
And
angle.
does he have the 1 rail?
Yeah, from
Oh,
that
wow,
angle, I
okay.
think he does. Oh, you're saying going past the right-hand side of the... maybe we could see it from the side-on camera.
I thought Paul. Yeah, see, the 5's got him cut off. So
5's cut off, definitely. But 1 rail behind the 7 he can hit. I think I prefer
yeah,
that over the 2
yeah,
rail.
that's actually okay. Yeah, I'm
Someone's-
pretty confident in the 2 rail now. The 2 rail you could scratch off the 1 in the side for sure. I like the little short kick that Dale's talking about between the 7-8.
Yeah, a lot of good things could happen off that too.
Ah,
I mean,
absolutely.
he's got 1 rail high there as well. Maybe looking at just the 1 rail kick. This one in and out can go wrong with a...
Yeah, a lot of good can happen here, but you can scratch in the side as well. A little hard, but a nice hit. Look at this, right
twist,
behind the 3.
Twist. Oh.
Nice effort.
Yeah, that was nicely played.
So I'm guessing Raymond's done for the day as well, right?
Yeah, Ray's only dropped 2 racks. He's on fire right now.
I watched him play over here as well on his first round. Okay, 1 trying to get behind the 5-9. Pretty good control.
How's your speed?
Yeah, pretty good.
Wow. Again, not an easy one to hit. This is a 2-railer again.
Yeah, you'll hit right before the side.
Yeah, he's got a good aim point there, isn't he?
Yeah, that's one that, as long as you know the route, meaning, you hit it at a high rate. So another one here, though, should hit this. I like his chances anyways.
So for those asking how you sign up, the APA runs qualifiers, I believe, in September prior to the event. So keep an eye out on the website and look for the regional qualifiers in your area. That's how most of us got here.
Yeah, this year, of course, because of pandemic, I think the qualifiers and the prelims, you might say, they ran all the way into November.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, I was a late qualifier.
Yeah, and usually this event's in November. Now, Jason hasn't mentioned much about it, but he said, you never know, we may end up keeping this event in March. So,
Yes. Yeah.
be nice if they can avoid spring break maybe and keep it in March, but
Okay.
all right.
This is tough. What do
Probably
you like?
draw.
Draw?
3 rails seems like you could whiff it. Like you might not get enough on it. Watch out, 7 ball. Watch out, 7. Okay.
That's
This is funny.
just another safety, right?
Yeah, but
Or do you bank at the
you
8?
can't come across naturally on this, I don't think. So you have to cue downward. So now speed is hard to contain, right? Oh, this is going to work out.
Keep twisting.
Is it going to go?
Keep twisting.
Yeah, it's all right.
Oh, great shot. Oof. All right.
Kick and stick, maybe the jump shot, but the jump shot you may have to carry a piece of the 7 as well. So
Yeah, the jump shot would be lined with danger there.
yeah, I like the kick to the side rail with draw and stick the cue ball and hopefully bang the 5 up table.
I do like the 3-rail on this one. I've practiced these ones, 3 rails.
3 rails to the backside, go
the back.
behind the 9.
Yeah.
No, that's a good play, actually.
I think it's quite big going into that channel.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But this one, you kind of risk. It's a bit
not
risky.
drawing this? He's got to draw it. I mean, don't have to draw it, but. Oh, look at this. This is gonna work out, maybe. Nope.
It was risky with the scratch.
Yeah, with the follow.
Huge. Yeah, that was rough, but great hit. Just sold out.
Okay, so something we didn't see as much at the beginning of the 9 ball. Now going to look a little bit, and the match has tightened up, right?
It's tightened right up. I mean, a good thing is that 7 does go behind the 8 into the side pocket, I believe. So it has a couple of options here. Can draw on and off the rail and get back across. Or do you just try and leave this by the 8 ball spot, but maybe just take that long, right?
Yeah.
Trust yourself a bit.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the pockets are playing nice. I mean, if you hit it well, you don't have to hit it perfect, but if you hit it well, you should be fine.
Yeah, he's just taking a longer shot.
Yeah, I like this.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you get through a few of these, really, it kind of makes you more confident as well.
Yeah.
Rather than thinking, I got to move the ball to the easy shot, move the ball to the easier shot.
Ooh. See, that's why I like following those. I kind of like putting a high ball on that, just to allow it to take a little bit easier.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of what I teach. Really, is not just using the high, but when you use low. See, he made the ball slide away, so now the pocket becomes bigger. If he rotates it a little bit better from the strike, well, that pocket's almost just as big as following the ball, believe it or not. But,
right.
But that's just still, I thought made it. To be honest with you, when it sent away, but.
It's a big moment in the match, though. 5-4 versus 6-3 potential.
Oh yeah.
It's just.
That's going to get away a little bit. So.
Oh, you're using a lot of outside there.
Yeah, he kind of let up on it. Just didn't quite get through the ball. Like I said, just kind of guided it a little bit. So maybe he was worried about overhitting it.
I don't think it needed a second rail. Float down and back up.
Right.
Yeah. That.
Oh, look at this! Look at this!
One pocket, extraordinaire.
Wow.
Oh. I feel bad for Paul. He's really got the worst of it today.
And now 6-3 for Jason Schoof. Paul Adolini.
It's quite funny because in England we say if someone hoofs a ball, it means that they've lucked it or
fluke.
Hit it too hard.
Right.
He shoofed it. I think we've a new adjective.
Well, what do they call in snooker for like a skid? It kicked?
It kicked, yeah. There was a
little kick in there.
You can't say that here, though, because it's a kick. You wouldn't kick a ball, I don't think.
You're confused, right?
In snooker.
Yeah, that's a bank.
That's a bank.
Yeah.
Or a double. Sorry.
Yeah, or a double,
A double.
Right. I think 3 cushion, actually, when you kick at it, they call it a bank. Actually, 3 cushion, yeah.
Well,
I know it's used somewhere for the kick shot in one of the disciplines. Another game that, man, I could play all day. I really wanted to get a table upstairs, but the game room's kind of for the kids a little bit. So
a 10-foot carom table?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Heated?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I've been lucky. I've spent a little bit of time with some good players, and I don't play it real well or nothing, but not bad for a pool player.
Definitely helps your game, I'm sure.
Oh, instincts. It really builds your instincts. Just whatever you want to, anything. Kicks, hits, shaving a ball, running a ball a few rails off of another ball. It's just.
That shot I was talking about earlier, that's where I would never have seen that before if I didn't play 3 cushion.
Right. You banking at this with the big pocket?
You should, right?
Maybe. I mean, it's a thought.
But he's defensive. He's in defense mode right now. I feel like he's just trying to eke one rack at a time now.
All right. You can see the bottom of this, so should shave this and come back in the same position the cue ball's in roughly.
Shout out to Leah Burks. Thanks for joining, Leah. She's the new owner of Center Pockets in Maryland.
Maryland?
Yeah, brand new race on tables.
Oh,
I
okay.
think Shane and Fedor are going there May 1st
Mm-hmm.
for the exhibition match. So that'll be its grand opening. 24 bar box tables and 6 race on tables.
Oh, no. If it's not one thing, it's another. Dang, Paul. Hard luck.
Do you think he needed to float over that far?
No, he knew he wanted to go over, right? So, and he likes probably banking at that speed. He just never, ever dreamed it would follow the ball right in the hole, right? Like, that's hard to do. You could sit there all day and say, all right, do that, Dale. And you'll be like, okay, I can do that. And now it's Sunday and you hadn't done it yet, so.
Do you ever get to that point, Jeremy, where you feel like quitting, never playing again?
Not really. I had a little moment where after I played a couple of years, I quit for like 2 or 3 months, but I just took a break, I think, more than anything. I never really dreamed I was not going to play anymore. So
keep sucking you back in, right?
Oh yeah, it's, anything that's so infinite, like you never have it, you never got it. It's never like, okay, can't show me no more.
I like what Ralph said, Ralph Suke, when he was on the podcast. He said he's never had a perfect set.
Yeah.
And he said his aspiration is still to have a perfect set.
Yeah.
And he doesn't believe it's attainable, but it keeps him going.
That's the same thing here. I tell people in the lessons all the time, y'all have no clue how often us pros miss hit the cue ball. Every rack we miss hit it a little bit.
It's refreshing to hear, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Does he put a little top inside, or does he just lay up for the cut?
I like to lay up, personally.
I usually do. Very rarely will I try to add more. Now, I don't want to lay up on the rail necessarily, but that's okay.
No. I'm with you on that one. Off the rail here, I get why he did it.
Yeah. And I don't think he necessarily want to get that close, but watch out for that scratch up in the corner where he's standing.
We'll play the safety. Unlucky, the scratch was big there too, right?
Yeah. Now, Paul's got to come with one for his tournament life.
Yeah, 6-3 down, and you're looking at this, Jeremy. Oh my.
Yeah.
Forget it.
You're swinging though, right?
You have to. I think you have to. I think the bank is big, the pocket's big. I just
He's kicking behind it.
He's going to kick up table.
He's kicking behind it, trying to make it in the side. And it's a pretty decent little shot right here. I mean, he figured to get it to the end rail, though, is what he thought was going to happen.
I still like it, though.
Yeah, I don't mind his play there.
Yeah. Like you said, he didn't rather than be aggressive, try and play the percentage shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because he could have easily made it in the side pocket, too, with that kick.
Absolutely. Now, tougher shot than he had earlier, so that means he'll probably make it.
I do feel like he makes the harder shots.
Yeah.
Having watched him over this period.
Okay. Just stay steady. Got to draw the ball a little bit, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, he slow rolled it in, even though he was going towards the corner. Nice shot, Paul. And 6-4.
That was good speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got to get the blood back into my legs, Jeremy.
Yeah, I do that quite often.
How do you sit here that long?
Well, the one that I got to pay attention to is this.
Oh, the elbows.
Oh man, last night after that long session in the booth, I was like, oh my goodness. I forgot totally. I just sit there use my elbows to prop my big old noggin up, and
well, you do a great job for the amateurs watching, and I know that the feedback's always positive, and it's great to be able to listen to someone that cares for the game as well as knowledgeable.
Oh yeah, for sure. I enjoy it.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here if we didn't.
No. All right.
He's on the 2, right?
I think the 4's got him cut off just a piece. I think he can see the 2, but it may be more like a kick or maybe a cross corner-ish.
Oh, it's a full-on kick.
Yeah.
Sold out. Everything's on. Everything's got a home. Doesn't need to do too much here. Can just play this one with a low draw shot, just to hold that ball. A little too much. Maybe a bit of tension in the back arm.
Maybe. And, you know, 8-ball, you have choices, and so you can choose some shorter shots. But I really saw him not miss as many balls as early as he has the last few games. So
Yeah.
earlier. One thing I talked about with the ladies, which we don't see here with day one, but day two of the ladies, you know, you could see a few, you know, you can recognize a stroke that has a little fatigue in it occasionally, and it's not every shot, but they had a long second day if you're on the loser side. So Lady Deanna, who lost early on day two, played a lot of matches to get back to the third position. So
Can play its part, and that's why it's so key and critical to stay on that winner's side, if only just for the favourable draw, like you said.
oh yeah. All right, elevation here, trying to stab one in off the end rail. Watch out, 9-ball. The 9-ball looks a little hairy off that 7. Maybe it doesn't go. I don't know, but
I think he'll be shooting at it, you know.
good chance.
Look at it.
I'll tell you, it could. It could, that's for sure. Again, though, you have to hit it a little slower to be able to draw off the ball correctly. If you hit at it, it's going to go probably into the low side of the 9. So.
Yeah, because he's going to want to. The 2's going to go around the angles as well. I mean,
Oh, he got on the top side of it. Okay.
Wow. It was worth a slash.
Yeah.
Hey, you're welcome, Dale. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. This one is natural, right? Just come float it down. Maybe he has a shot at the 9 too. Oh no. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Difficult. 4 doesn't go on the side either, so he's got a little cut shot on the 3, but where's he go for shape?
Yeah, you're almost coming. The angle takes you behind the 7, though. You could come around the back of the 7.
Yeah.
But that's
Maybe with low inside and kind of get up to above the 4, maybe something like that.
Yeah, try and come out back center of table.
Yeah.
That drill that people love. Back into the box. He did attack the 9, I think.
He's left a little bit of a gap on the 3. Not a makeable one, but he can get at it.
Let's see.
It's outside pocket. Ooh, it actually is going to be his friend. Look at that.
I love bump.
Yeah, Paul's like, what the heck's going on around here?
I do think I think he's had maybe 1 or 2 rolls, but I
Not
think
many, yeah.
Jason's in double figures. But that's what you need. You need some love.
You could go sometimes what seems like weeks without a roll.
That's a great kick too. That was really unlucky. Weeks without a roll. Oh man.
What seems like, anyways.
Yeah, you'd have to take my laces and my belt off me if that was the case.
Yeah. Well, it's like, you know, we always remember the big losses, right? Real easily. So not as much the wins so easily.
True.
Kind of go hand in hand a little bit. So it's not a little university, but where I live in Denton, University of North Texas, they made the tournament this year, which I don't know if you know much about March Madness, but
Nope.
no? Okay, so that's the collegiate championship for basketball. So
Oh, okay.
it's the top 64 teams get in it, and you wouldn't be amazed how many teams could get in it. And basketball in college in America, I don't know,
Wow.
300 or 400 teams that play at the same level, I guess, maybe.
That's interesting.
Wow, great stroke.
Oh no.
That was one of his best strokes, just real clean through the ball.
Yeah, those ones, I mean, well, I think we still got a match on our hands, folks.
Oh, absolutely.
He's just looking if the 7 goes by the 9. It possibly does. I think there might be enough of a gap. Reason being, he can just float down one rail if it does go by the 9. Makes the positional shot from the 5 over to the 6 there. Much easier. Or is that 4? Can never tell. 4 ball.
Did he get there?
I think he's 2 straight, right? Maybe kicking himself.
Yeah. And all he had to do is set up a little more angle and come outward a little more rather than. Oh, he's okay. This camera tells me he can get there. Maybe not.
Wow.
Wow.
See, with that one, if he had that bit of angle, I think he could have gone forward with a high right and tried to come the other side of it.
The other side of it, huh? He's cutting this in. Don't worry, Dale.
Oh.
Well.
Oh, he's getting safe. This is the roll.
Well.
It swings both ways, Jeremy.
Not bad.
Wow.
Okay, this is one you kick with a high and a little bit of left English. His left.
Every chance of making it too, right?
Yeah, and the actual cue ball should kind of, if you hit it full enough, should kind of stay on the left side rail, and the 7 could go up. You could get a snooker here on the 8.
There it is.
He got behind
there
it.
There it is.
Wow.
Wow, drilled it. What a shot.
Taking Jason to the Hard Rock tonight.
Yeah.
I'm paying for the Uber.
Blow on the dice. Done.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, look at this. Oh, he shakes his hand. He's like, oh, I can't believe that. He played it well. Great. I'll let you tie it up, Jeremy, but thanks very much for the invite.
Yeah, absolutely, Dale. I'm sure we'll have you back in. You're going to be in action.
I will be.
Yeah, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have a 9 o'clock here shortly when we get it set up. Jason's out of the tournament, but you know, that's the way it goes. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. The U.S. Amateur will continue shortly.